Hi, Devlin here, and welcome to Misunderstood Movies. Before we begin, I remind people this is my opinion and belief. You can disagree with me, and please comment if you do or don't in the comment section below, but please be nice about it. We are all movie fans here, and that's what's truly important. So be respectful to all. Today I look at the case of Masters of the Universe, the 1987 science fiction action fantasy directed by Gary Goddard. It stars Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella, Courtney Cox, Robert Duncan McNeil, and Billy Barty. The screenplay was written by David Odell, based on the popular animated kids show and the successful Mattel toy line. What people expected was a big screen adaptation of their favorite adventure cartoon. But what they got was sort of that, but they took many liberties. Let's get this out of the way immediately. I wasn't a regular viewer of the 80s TV series. I was more of a G.I. Joe and Gem fan. I was familiar enough with the premise to know why this would have pissed its fan base off back when it was first released in 1987. Everything about this should have been a hit. The show and toy lines were doing fairly well, and the Canon Group promoted it as the Star Wars for the 80s. But when it hit theaters, it couldn't even make back its moderate budget of $22 million. Dolph Lundgren was coming off his turn in the very successful Rocky IV, and Frank Langella was a critically acclaimed actor, and it is based on a hugely popular IP. All they really needed to do was follow the source material. It had lots of characters, stories, and locations, but that's where most of the problems began. Instead of keeping the story and action in the worlds of the TV show, they took a few elements and threw them on Earth. Now, writers and producers can talk all they want about the fun of fish-out-of-water stories, but to me, when something like this happens and they set it on Earth, it tells me we wanted to save money. That's exactly how this feels. Now you have He-Man and Skeletor and a few other fan faves, but we will fill the rest of the movie with teenagers no one cares about and throw in an alien locksmith to replace Orko, who might be too expensive to bring to the big screen. You have incredible set pieces like Grayskull and Snake Mountain, but we spent most of our time on Earth. If I was a fan, I would have been pissed too. I came late to the game with this movie and only saw it recently, but I had a lot of fun with it. It is far from being perfect, but there is so much cheesy goodness with this, I could overlook the tortured teen subplots and the screwball comedy moments. I remember when it first came out thinking Dolph Lundgren was badly cast in this, but after watching this film, I actually think he pulled it off really well. Dolph didn't, and still considers this one of his worst films. Frank Langella, on the other hand, had a blast in the role, taking it to impress his then young son, who was just a boy and a big fan of the animated series. He owns Skeletor and plays it up very camp, yet somehow Shakespearean at the same time. The story is basic textbook, but still it moves well and entertains enough to be thoroughly enjoyable. When it came out, it was considered a joke, but I think over the years we have seen so many bad retellings of TV shows, video game, and pop culture fare, this just doesn't seem to be as bad. If they ever get a reboot, at least they have a low bar to set to top this one. But I think the cult following this movie has garnered since '87. Some fans still think they may have their work cut out for them. Now let me know what you thought in the comments, and let's have a conversation about this movie. Are you one of those who were hoping for a big screen version closer to the original 80s TV show? Or are you like me and consider Masters of the Universe a misunderstood movie?